and welcome to a special episode of Early Childhood Chapters, brought to you by Gryphon House Books. I'm Emily Garman, and I'm here at the 98th Annual NAEYC Conference. That's the National Association for the Education of Young Children, the largest gathering of early childhood professionals in the country, and a truly powerful event for anyone passionate about this field. Since 1926, this conference has been inspiring educators from all over the world, offering a unique opportunity to connect, to share ideas, to have fun, and learn the latest in early childhood best practices. This week has been especially exciting as I've had the chance to talk with so many people about the Gryphon House books and authors that have played a role in shaping their journeys as educators. It's been moving to hear these stories, and you'll hear some of them in our episode today. These encounters remind us why this work matters and why the connections we make at conferences like this one are so powerful. In today's episode, we'll hear from educators, students, and longtime professionals who have come together here in Anaheim and have taken the time to share the knowledge and inspiration they've gained from our authors and their books. Thank you for joining us, and let's dive right into the voices of NAEYC.
My name is Angela Searcy, and I'm from Frankfort, Illinois, and I'm just loving being here at NAEYC. My name of my book, I have two. So one is Push Past It, a positive approach to challenging classroom behaviors. And then my second book is Elevating Equity, navigating those challenging conversations in early childhood.
So you just gave a talk here at NAEYC. How did it go?
Oh my goodness. So my room was full. Like when I walked in, I was like, are you guys here for me? There were people there. I couldn't believe it. The room was packed. I mean, they were there. I love teachers. They were there early. Like teachers, they don't mess around. They don't mess around. I was like, my talk's at 10, right? They're like, yeah, we're here early. So we just listened to music, some Donna Summer. We talked, and then it was just fun. It was just fun to just meet with teachers and connect with them. Educators, really. There were people from all over doing many different roles, and it was good. I enjoyed it.
So what is your highlight from NAEYC so far?
I think everything's good. Everything's good. But I just have to say connecting with people. Like I'm making more friends and we're talking and we're like connecting over even ideas. Like you had that happen at your program? Well, let me tell you what's happening. And it's the same. We have a common, it makes you feel like, okay, we're having common experiences. It's not just me. Like the challenging behavior was the topic. It's happening, in Illinois. It's happening in California. It's happening in Michigan. Canada's not just maple syrup. It's happening in Canada. You know what I mean? So it's affirming to know that we can connect around those challenges and support each other.
Is this your first NAEYC?
No. Yeah, I've been to NAEYC before, and I presented for the first time in 2019. And in 2019, I think it was like 20 people at my session, but the right person was there because that's where I met Gryphon House, like my editor, yeah, right? So yes, Gryphon House, yeah.
Do you have a memory from your life of a teacher who had an impact on you growing up?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so many. I can think of actually my college teacher, you know what I mean? For my master's degree, like we're friends, we're best friends, we talk, we're like teacher to peer, right? Like first you start and they're guiding you and then they're your peer and they're still guiding you, but, and you just keep that connection going for years and years and years. And it's someone you can count on. And so, one of my teachers is, Jillian McNamee, and if Jillian ever hears this, she's gonna just giggle, and she just has a wonderful way. So just a good feeling. Someone who makes you feel good inside. Someone who makes you feel like you are 5 years old and you are sitting there at your best, your best preschool or kindergarten teacher is a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
Introduce yourselves. Who are you? Tell me who you are, where you're from.
So I'm Dr. Thomas Abond, and I am from Michigan, and I have authored 2 books with Gryphon House. I have my own training company that I started last year, so I do conferences, and I have held my very first early childhood conference last year. My second one is scheduled for 2025 in April of next year.
I am Edgar Aguilar Caceres. I am from here, local, 5 hours away from here, from Winton. And I came representing Merced College, and she helped with her books. I was able to gain a lot of experience. Without her books, I would have not been able to become a behavior support specialist. I wouldn't have known where I would have been in my second year now of preschool. But now with intensive behaviors, and now learning from her, I learned a lot from her. And now meeting her in person is very exciting. It's like when I purchased the book, I'm like, no way. And then she told me she's the author. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
So you didn't come here knowing you would get to meet her.
Yeah,
You just showed up.
I just showed up.
And you happened to be in the booth at the same time?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Edgar, tell me about a little bit more about what you're training to be. What is your career goal here? My
career goal is to not stop studying. I want to become a clinical psychologist for children and adolescents. And when I get my master's, it's going to be in social work. But I want to be a psychotherapist with children and adolescents, and the doctorate as well with children and adolescents.
Awesome.
And finishing up my master's, I want to be an adjunct part-time professor, and then soon become a full-time, and then become a full-time have my own private practice.
He's
Got
dreaming
goals.
big. Go
Yes.
big or go home.
And
Good for you.
When I get my bachelor's, that is going to be in child development, but with a focus in, and soon I'll be in that bachelor's program. It's actually going to be from Stanislaus State here in Turlock. It's like it's 5 hours away from here, from Anaheim. And that's where I will soon be at. But right now I'm at Merced College, and I'm a double major, associate's degree, and that's in child development and in psychology with the focus in trauma-informed care and special ed.
So your professor used Dr. Bond's books
Yes.
in the class?
Yes.
Okay.
All my professors have used one of the books.
Which is awesome.
Because
I didn't even know that.
Because in the classes that I happen to be taking, it's required to either have one or two textbooks, and out of the second textbook, it's sometimes about her.
Did reading her books help you sort of distill what you wanted to do?
Yes,
your
they
career
helped
trajectory?
me. They helped me in my class, coaching the other teacher, knowing what to do, how to be a good supervisor, how to be a good director, because it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone to be a supervisor, and it's not for everyone to be a director. You need the experience, you need the knowledge, and being a specialist and not trying to pursue anything in administration helped me, because I can coach, I can better supervise, I can better know how to help.
That is awesome.
Than being a dictator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see this kind of career path spelled out in these books in a way that you hadn't seen before, and you kind of went, that's it, that's what I want to do?
Words cannot express how I'm feeling right now. They really can't. Because one of the reasons why I wrote the books were for people like you. Because early childhood is such a phenomenal field, but the one thing that we don't have a lot of are leadership books. Every other profession teaches you how to be a strong leader, right? And I didn't want a textbook that was going to be out of the realms of the average person. I wanted something that individuals could pick up day one and implement it. That meant the most to me.
And when she writes in the books, it's like she's like talking. Like when she's in that when I'm reading her book, it's like if she's when I'm reading the book, it's like if she's talking to me. When I'm actually reading it, I'm like, wow. And then I'm just highlighting, and then a small note. I'm the person that has my books with a small note on the side, and I actually write on my book and on the side.
So it's not like when we typically think of a textbook or even a psychology textbook,
no.
especially it's really dry.
She's talking to you, and it's like, wow.
It's like double wow for me, because that's really what I wanted. I wanted people to understand
and it's
they
clear,
can be leaders.
And it's clear, and it's understanding and it's understanding like what she says in there. It's like I'm not confused. I'm not like still the same. No, I'm sent out that message of like, wow, okay, it does matter what I do, and I feel valued of it.
So what is the next book you want to see from Dr. Bond?
Something of trauma.
Okay.
Psychology. Psychology, maybe. Yeah.
I think think maybe as you rise up in your career, you might do some study,
Right?
maybe a graduate
Yes,
assistant.
that would be great.
You know.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's endless. It's endless.
And I think, I mean, are you so glad you came to NAEYC and you
Yes,
were here
I am actually new to NAEYC. I was presented a year ago, but I couldn't come. But now that it's local and it's here in California, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's make it happen. And yeah, the professor that I'm happen to be with, and I'll mention his name. His name is Marvin Patton, and if he's around here, he'll probably come and stop by. But yeah, he was the one who was excited of coming for us to come here because it's our first time that we're here.
So you're here with a group of students.
I'm with a group of college students. I did not come representing my school district, but I came representing the college I'm at.
Does he remind you of yourself when you
Oh,
were younger?
absolutely. Absolutely. I remember my very first NAEYC conference that I went to, like to this day. It was in Florida. And I was blown away. Like I had always gone to I'm from Michigan, I had always gone to the local conference as well. But there's just something about your very first national conference that does something to you. You will never be the same after this. It lights a fire in you to make you want to achieve higher, to be better, to understand the field more, to always be learning and reaching for higher heights. And so that's why I come year after year after year to the conference. And that's why, I mean, everything is done for a purpose, right? Like I didn't just have any publisher. I had Gryphon House as my publisher. And that wasn't by mistake. Like, you know, short story on how I started with the book. Like I was writing a blog and I loved my blog. And I was like, I want to help program directors. So I want to write a program director's book. And I reached out to 2 publishers. Both were accepting, but one, the individual was very new. And then I met Stephanie. And you know, you don't go back once you meet Stephanie, right? Like there's no going back.
I met
once
her
you meet-
yesterday.
Right? Isn't she awesome?
She's awesome.
Like a little
Maybe
plug
she'll
for
publish your book.
yes,
Right?
a little plug for her. And it just snowballed from there. And to hear the passion and the knowledge that you've gained from the books, like I feel like I gave birth when I did both of my books, right? Like they literally came from my soul. They weren't. And so to hear you say that it speaks to you, that's really what I wanted. I didn't want a book that people picked up and they were like, I'm getting the knowledge from it,
yeah, it's
but I
there.
don't see the passion in it. And that's what because I'm so passionate about the field, right? Like it's in my DNA. Like I don't know anything else.
Matthew Marceron. I'm President and CEO of Kaplan Early Learning Company, located in Louisville, North Carolina, central part of North Carolina.
So how many NAEYCs have you been to?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm dating myself. I bet you I've been to at least 20, possibly 25. You lose count.
So what's been your highlight about NAEYC so far? We're about halfway through.
Oh, wow. My highlight from NAEYC would be one, you know, I enjoy seeing so many folks that I've gotten to know personally over the years. And the energy, and a phrase I love to use is people don't care how much you know, they know how much you care. And this reinforces we have an army of people who care deeply about the space and early education. And so I'm always reinvigorated when I leave. And I'd say that's probably the keys to, you know, what I enjoy most about being here for NAEYC.
Gonna catch you off guard here. Do you happen to have a memory of a teacher or something that you experienced as a kid growing up that really sticks with you?
So my 6th grade teacher, and I'm coming back to this fairly fast, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Wood. And it was rare to have a male in the elementary environment. And he looked like Popeye, with hair up his arms, and he was a really strong, robust man. And his willingness to invest and get down at my level is something I will never forget, and helped me specifically with regards to learning early math. And again, I still think of him to this day.
My name's Lucas Ritson from the Gold Coast, Australia, and I'm the founder of Worthy. So Worthy is all about creating an authentic childhood experience through creating outputs.
And is this your first time in NAEYC?
Yeah, first time. The scale has blown my mind a bit. In Australia, a good conference would be about 2,000. So the fact that this is like 8,000 plus, and just the scale of this room alone, and also the diversity in all of the different people from all the different parts of the country, is fantastic.
I think there are people here from all over the world. I mean, I've seen people speaking lots of different languages here, so that's really cool to get that perspective. What are some of the highlights of the NAEYC experience for you so far?
I think you just skimmed on it right then. It's that perspective difference, but also different perspectives, but a unity in common cause, a common impact. Everyone's got such a heart for what they do. Everyone's so collaborative here, which I absolutely love and supportive. It doesn't feel like there's like a secret recipe that anyone wants to keep for themselves. And just like the authors here, asking the authors about their books, because I've got a book coming up, and just wanting to share. And that's been the coolest thing. Also like that sharing or mentality and heart.
Can you think of any memories you have from your childhood or your youth of a teacher who made an impact on you growing up?
Yeah, I just got, when you asked earlier, like such a clear English, and it wasn't so much, there wasn't any grand gestures, but it was just the presence of one of my teachers. And I love that we can all think of a person. And as teachers, I want to encourage the listeners to be like, how can I be that person that my children reflect back on? And I just felt seen by this teacher. I had a lot of learning difficulties growing up, and he saw through that and saw me and was so encouraging. And he would just sit on the desk and talk. And I had like literacy processing challenges. So for someone to just talk and then honor and be like, you're a really good thinker, and just support that and see me for who I was, is great.
Tell me a little bit about your podcast.
It's called Play It Forward. We got 52 episodes. And we get to talk to some of the best people of the fields, which has just been such a blessing. So Richard Louv has been on, the author of The Last Child in the Woods. Peter Gray, who's famous for his TED Talks. Alan Sandsetter, who's an expert in wristy play. Sandra Duncan has been on. Jennifer, who's a part of the Curating Moment. She'll be a guest soon as well. And it's just a heart for those educators out there. So a lot of the time I'll start by asking, hey, where did you play as a child, to our guests, which sets us up beautifully to say, yeah, we have a common experience of childhood, yet the current childhood condition is like no other in history. So then specializing in their field, how do we best support the current generation where they're at? Without saying, back in my day, like going into the data and throwing in questions along the lines of, like, if an educator has 30 minutes of the day, how do they support what you talk about? So yeah, it's just, I feel so blessed to be able to talk to so many people and glean once again with the reading books, but then I get to talk to the people who wrote the books, so it's kind of cheating.
My name is Ashley Coleman, and I am actually from Las Vegas, Nevada. I work at a school called Coral Academy of Science. It's a STEM school, and I'm the pre-K coordinator there. I've been in education for 22 years now, on and off, and I absolutely love it. Everything's brought me back to it. So a couple of years ago, I pursued my CDA, and actually with that CDA, I was able to be in classes with these wonderful people that were Teresa Byington and Kathy Peshlikai, Robin Marks Mackerly, and Sarah Wright. And those four people inspired me in many ways, as they were actually authoring a book at that moment. The book that they were working on was a makerspace book about how children should be able to work with all kinds of different materials and to build on their own based on their interpretation and what they want to do. And that we kind of looked at them like they were crazy, because in preschool, you don't give children, the whole roll of tape. You know what they're going to do with it. And their interpretation and their understanding, and them in the CDA program, they helped to guide people like me who were like, no, not the whole roll of tape, to understand that it's really beneficial for children to be able to spread their knowledge and their knowledge base by experiencing things themselves without guidance, without a teacher telling them, this is how you do it. And that changed it for me. That really helped. And those four people have inspired me. I've seen them in my entire career throughout. I see them at conventions, and I always bring it up because it really helped me to understand that children need to experience play and life for themselves. I'm there to guide. I'm not there to teach them everything about it, because that's not how we learn. So I just wanted to thank them, and I wanted to bring it up to you because it was really great seeing their book here at this at the NAEYC convention. So
That's so meaningful for us to hear, and I know for the authors as well. So how many times have you been to NAEYC?
This is actually my first time coming to NAEYC. Yes, in all the education years, I've just never made it because it was always a trip. So yeah, we usually wasn't funding present. There was this year, and I couldn't be happier. So there's 14 of us that came from our school, and we're having a great time just soaking it all in.